Okay, we are going to try something else here and see if we can't go about this in a different way to try to get you some pictures here tonight. So we'll try a different broadcasting format and see if that holds steady for us here tonight. Sorry about these difficulties. You could say that Al Merriman is on assignment, which more or less is the case, because he has gotten married, and we here at NAGP TV and all of the league wish him the very best, and congratulations on that. Oh, good for you, Al. If you happen to be tuning in here tonight, kind of wish you were here. I don't know if it's my machine that's having some type of problems or some other type of file difficulty with the Procaster talking with the GTR2 software, but in any event, we'll do the best we can for you here tonight. I can see on the broadcast we're having some wonky pictures there. So we'll do everything that we can to try to get some action in here for you tonight. We'd really like to, of course. This being the penultimate round of the Season 18 Championship, of course. And we're going to have some great stuff for you tonight in the Superpole format, if we get it in. One of my favorites. Personally, I love it. Got a lot of pressure out there, got a lot on the line. We have 4 drivers here in a heated battle for this championship, and quite a few more than that involved in the possibility of getting a race win. As we're still checking out those pictures, and they aren't looking too good, are they? Give us another second here, and we'll see if we can't clean any. We'll see if we can't clean any of that up for you. I would have liked by now to have introduced you to Rich Roman, who was going to give us a hand tonight, as well as possibly another surprise guest or two coming in to help us out. I got to be honest with you, I just don't know if it's going to happen.
Well, that'll be unfortunate, Bragg, since you and Al normally do a great job in this. It's always fun to look back and watch the races, especially even when I'm in. You know.
Yeah, well, for sure. It's always fun to watch yourself there. We're just trying to bring up the broadcast stream now. Yeah, boy. Well, I think that that we are live anyway and have some audio, so let's do the best job we can for you here in the meantime. And, well, Rich has joined me here in the broadcast booth. Let's turn it over to him for a couple seconds. Rich, what do you think about these Superpole formats? We'll get into exactly how all that works, but for now, your thoughts.
Well, I gotta tell you, it's Superpole puts gets the nerves going. I think everyone does enjoy it. I know I do. Sometimes you got to go out there and everyone wants to drive 10/10ths, but sometimes I think 9/10ths get you the pole.
Yeah, it's a real possibility. A lot of times that's the case. Now, it should be noted as well that whether we get everyone their pictures or not, this Superpole qualifying session is at night. The dark always can cause some problems for some of these guys, not used to some of the break points and the turn-in points, these types of things. This Superpole format, of course, is a single lap qualifying run, so all these drivers here tonight will get one particular lap at a timed lap around this Spa-Francorchamps course, and they're gonna based on that time they're going to then run a qualifying race in the order in which they qualified. Now, the top 2 qualifiers from this race will have their positions locked in for the feature race next week. So pole position and second place, they'll both, of course, they'll start on that front row regardless. So, Superpole format, 30-minute qualifying race for our feature race next week. Hopefully Al's back around by then. And there you go. That's our format tonight. Now, you've been involved in a few of these, Rich. Some guys like particular strategies in this race. Do you have one that you care for?
Oh, you know, that's hard to say. I mean, it really all depends on the car you're in. You got to really, I think, try to play to its strengths, and you know, sometimes that, you know, really works out for you. You know, with the newer formats that we've been running lately, it's a little bit different. You don't have quite as much strategy as you used to have, but yeah, nonetheless, you still got to play to the car's strength and go from there.
Sure, and that's a big part of it. These guys, I'm sure, are well prepared, and some of these cars are going to have particular strengths.
Of course, as everyone else has been watching, I'm sure, you know, we all know Tiago's been doing a whole lot of tire saving in a lot of these races. Obviously, tires or anything like that won't matter in this sprint race, but that could definitely maybe play some kind of factor in the 2-hour race next week.
Yes, certainly. Now, tonight in particular, as hopefully you're watching Brian's story, I got to be honest with you, I'm not getting a video feed of the you guys tell me how your pictures are looking, or if they're worth anything. Again, Al's not here. For those of you joining late, we're doing the best job we can, bringing you some of these pictures here tonight from our Season 18 penultimate round in qualifying here at Spa-Francorchamps. And, well, not too bad. Okay. And again, Rich Roman is here joining us tonight as Al is on assignment with his new wife. Congratulations to him. So, we'll try to get into the spirit of this thing once we have our technical difficulties halfway sorted here and get some of this action.
Now, yeah, talking about strategy, the one biggest thing that comes up a lot of times here in Superpole, you can see there's a few names down lower in the list who seem to like to go out real early and kind of get their lap done instead of waiting real late like Tiago. Some 28 drivers they kind of cool down a little bit and don't do as well as if they just practice and go out there and go back to the fast lap.
Yeah, so that certainly can be part of the strategy. I've had the opportunity to run in a few Superpole events myself. I love it personally. I like the pressure. I like the intensity. I kind of like the focus, the charge, the excitement. One gets out of it a little bit. Personally, you know, I prefer to go late. I want the maximum amount of grip to be had on a particular track. Of course, the later you go in a session, you get a little extra grip out there. You get a chance to see maybe everybody else is qualified at. You know, maybe the tiniest of an advantage. I just love it. Brian's story crossed the line there. The provisional poles, first one out, not too surprising there, but Brian's story kept it on track, so that's the first hurdle overcome.
Oh yeah, and you know, I mean, I can't disagree with you. I mean, actually, I believe I have at least the GT1 race. Two of my poles are actually Superpole events. I went out and both of those like really took the blast, you know. So nice amount of grip in the track, just kind of hit it right, kind of put the pressure on the last two guys that really have to step it up, and that worked out for me in the past. But we've seen a lot of people, you know, again, go out real early after just having a lot of practice and be able to put a really good time lapping in with less rubber on the track and really end up still at least in the top 5 usually.
Yeah, roger that. Well, it is a nervous affair. It takes a little bit of practice and getting used to. And some of these guys are going to be a little more prepared for it than others. As we watch Curtis Chandler come around here, we will try to get again into the swing of this. Still trying to get over our technical difficulties a little bit there. hopefully at least the pictures will be good enough for you to have some idea what's going on. So we had to switch up our broadcasting technique, and so those pictures won't be too crisp for you, but hopefully at least they'll be there. Yeah, Curtis Chandler. So hopefully tonight we'll be able to give you a little bit of driver information. Guys, it's hard to cover everybody all the time throughout the course of our races. We don't have multiple cameras, of course. So hopefully we'll get you some information on some of these drivers we might not ordinarily get to talk a lot about. Curtis Chandler we have been talking about a bit this season. He's a longtime NAGP veteran and really all but an admin around the site. It's been looking quite sharp, it has to be said, in that Gumpert. Have you had the opportunity to race around Curtis when you've been on track this season there in GT2, Rich?
Not too much. No, I haven't. But right now he's a good 2.5 seconds up on the time by Brian Story. So we'll see what he pulls in here. But I think that car is working out pretty well for him. It seems to be doing pretty well. That's not too bad a time there. 2:20.
No, not too bad at all. And it should be said again, of course, that these times will count towards this next race, our 30-minute qualifying race. And so the order that these guys finish these hot laps in, they'll start for that race, which it could be important. You know, those times based on how they finish in that qualifying race will carry over to our 2-hour finale here next week, where our championship will ultimately be decided. So it could be important for some of these guys, particularly the guys with championship hopes, to get up there as far as they can.
Yeah, actually I was just about to go check on the standings myself. I know you got Aaron Parsons, of course, he's up there, and I know everybody, it seems like just about everybody's carrying weight, so it'll definitely make for an interesting finale.
Yeah, so we've got a good 4 guys involved in this championship. Let's see. Tiago Canola is in 4th place with 137 points. He's really going to have to make a dent here tonight. Perhaps claim this Superpole, claim that locked-in spot for the feature race, as well as win the 30-minute qualifying race here tonight to really stand a chance to still be alive for this Season 18 championship. But Tiago certainly does have that type of speed. Other guys in the mix: Nick Johnston, Chris Moses, Aaron Parsons, of course, our championship leader at the moment. We'll all have a chance to see these guys and chat about them a little bit as we watch George Alba now on his hot lap here. Halfway around this really lengthy circuit, these guys will be running a 2-minute 20, 2-minute 18-second laps around here. Georgia Alba been putting in some full-time seasons here. Last couple seasons in that Jag. It has to be said, improving week to week generally. Getting into the mix of this.
Yeah. Let's. Sorry about that. Yeah, he obviously he's made a little contact with the wall. He's missing one headlight. I didn't quite see what happened there, but he'll be bringing his lap in. But going back to the championship fight, yeah, you got well, to tell you the truth, looking at the standings right now, everyone behind Aaron needs to really go for that pole and then get some valuable points in this Superpole qualifying race.
Yeah, certainly. This, let me just note again, anybody that's showing up late here, we are on a different computer and a different, slightly different broadcasting system, and apparently, for whatever reason, my computer's not quite up to snuff here. It hasn't been optimized. We can see some video problems out there. But one guy that's going to be important to this championship, particularly on the team championship, you're watching now, Gregory Myers in that Porsche. Of course, he, along with Tiago Canola, are right in the thick of this thing. There for Adrenaline Taxi Service. You know, these guys only some 21 points behind our team championship leaders, TBROK Dan Bam, but that team championship with points counting for both drivers in these races can swing rapidly, so these guys well and truly still in this championship mix. Gregory Myers, however, is well off that pole time at the moment.
Yep, yeah, and that's and as well as you know, anything can happen when it comes to a team championship. You know, as it might, Aaron Parsons might be going ahead to drive somewhat a conservative race. You know, keeping in mind Chris Moses, Nick Johnson, Tiago, and he might not be looking to maximize his amount of points. And then all you need to do is have one problem for teammate John Houston, and then that opens up the door for the other two teams.
Yeah, surely, and that's the whole thing. You know, both teammates go out, and things change really rapidly, and there's a bunch of those games lost. Yeah, and, you know, unfortunately, it does happen sometimes. I've had some notables here, actually, in recent memories, with myself and my teammate problem on the GT1 side of things, but you know, that's part of the deal. That's racing. That's why we're out here after all. And, from what I can see on the broadcast numbers, it looks like that viewership is fluctuating and is now going down. So make sure to let us know if those pictures are just in any event, Gregory Myers clocks in 3 seconds off the pace, unfortunately. So 22-23, and I have to say that's a little surprising there by Gregory Myers in that Porsche. Curtis Chandler still leading the way there in P1.
Yeah, it's a little surprising, not completely shocking, because Greg, after all, is he's known for never qualifying quite that well, but having usually a really strong race. So you know, he's a guy again. He might not be thinking much about it, and all of a sudden you look up and here he is fighting for fifth place right on the hill with fresh tires.
Yeah, that's right, no doubt.
Let's see what David has here.
Rich, I think the broadcast needs to be down.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Here it's kind of started up again. Well, tell you what we'll do here, guys. We'll try to get you through the qualifying session here. We may have to, the Superpole session, we may have to mix the 30-minute qualifying race here tonight. But let's try to get you through this Superpole session, and we'll try to get you some information on the drivers and where they stand. And, I'm sorry about that, but for whatever reason, we had some computer problems and this stuff. So, apologies for that, but in the meantime, as long as your audio is still running pretty strong, we'll carry on the best we can.
This is going to be really close for David. He's just a hair behind Curtis Chandler for the pole, provisional pole, that is. So let's see if he gets this last sector.
Yeah, so, you know, we're looking anywhere as low as the 18s. We have seen 2-minute 18-second laps here. In practice and over the course of the week, really, but it looks like it's a relatively hard number to get to if you watch David come up the line here. And indeed, David Canavan clips Curtis Chandler there by a couple tenths for that provisional pole position. But going back quickly, that 218 mark might be hard to get to here in the dark. We have seen some 18.7s, 18.8s. But the darkness might affect these guys at reduced visibility.
Yeah, I know I won't.
Rich, of course, will have the opportunity to take part tonight in the feature race next week. As Marco Conti heads through his hot lap here up the Rouge cleanly, looking good. Marco Conti rapidly becoming an NAGP veteran around here. Been a solid 5 or 6 seasons since Marco's been around. And, always been a strong contender, always fighting for top 10s. As with anybody, some races are better than others, but Marco Conti has certainly had his share of pretty good ones. Again, we know the pictures are a little unsteady. We're just going to do the best job we can. Try to get you through the Superpole session here, and you guys might have to look on the site there to find out where your favorite driver did.
Marco's currently about half a second off the pace. It's possible maybe he'll make some of that up going through this next sector, the last 2 sectors.
Yeah, Marco, of course, in the Lamborghini, which actually should be quite good through that 2nd sector. One of the stronger performers, anyway.
Is he on the, is that the Pirelli Lamborghini, or is that the Michelin?
That, I believe, is the Michelin Lamborghini.
Well, he definitely made up sometime.
Yeah, well, at least you guys can see the times as they flash up there. It gives you some sense of what's going on. Really strange. We had done some tests and everything seemed to be running fine, so not sure exactly what's happening with that there tonight. As Marco Conti storms through the line here. Yeah, held on to that half second the whole way, didn't he, there, Rich?
Yeah, actually, he was up a little bit. You know, he was about 3/10 down, almost 4/10 down in the 2nd sector, and then obviously he lost that extra 10th or so in the final sector. But hey, not bad. You know, still 220 is a good start, and see what happens.
Indeed. Well, we have the opportunity now to watch Chris Moses around here as he begins his hot lap. Of course, Chris Moses, 2nd place currently in the overall championship point standings. Full 12 points behind Aaron Parsons, but that can change rapidly. Again, 4 points, as we have some slides. Chris doing a little dirt tracking here and there. So, yeah, you know, a pole position here in the Superpole qualifying period will get you a bonus point. And the 30-minute qualifying session to follow, that can get you another 3 points. So 4 points at offer here tonight, and Chris Moses would like every one of them if he can. And he's off to a good start, 2/10 up on that pole time.
Yeah, and if he really is going to have a shot at Aaron, he's going to need to get every point he can possibly get, you know, and then have maybe a little bit of luck in the race. I was just looking at the weight penalties. Tiago's a little bit lighter than he is. Then Chris has got the next most amount of weight. And Aaron and Nick Johnston then have they're equal in the amount of weight they're carrying. So then, yeah. So basically, this is going to be up to those 3 guys: Tiago, Chris, and Nick Johnston, to really, you know, pull something out of their hat of tricks and make something up on these guys.
Yeah, they're going to need to, and, you know, while that weight, as we watch this 2nd sector come out... Oh, Chris, extremely wide. That's definitely going to hurt him here. Yeah, definitely going to hurt him here in that 3rd sector. 1 second up on that pole time for a solid 19, which would be a pretty good lap, I would think, but we'll have to see as he crosses the line here. Through La Source, down the hill. Little wide there. Really pushing it there through Blanchimont, just bit off a bit too much. That's still 19.5.
Yeah, but I bet you he's not going to be Well, we'll find out from him, I'm sure, if he was happy with that. I noticed it looked like the car was smoking a little bit, which is fine. Super Bowl qualifying, no problem there. But yeah, that was a pretty big slide out there.
Well, we are having a little trouble with the broadcast. We'll bring you this period again, of course, as well as we can, but maybe to keep you as entertained as possible, we were going to invite Chris Moses up into the booth and give us a little bit of hand with this qualifying session here tonight. So let's see if we can't get him up here, talk to him a little bit about his lap, and see if he has any other comments for us.
I'll be 1 second.
Okay, Chris, dragged you up. I saw that you were maybe kibitzing there a little bit in that open racing channel. Well, there you go, a 19.5. Ooh, as we see Kevin Miller have a big sliding off there. That obviously is going to hurt his chances. Poor Kevin Miller has been showing some great results this season. Unfortunately, 6.5 seconds off the pole time so far is not going to be where he's going to want to start this 30-minute qualifying session. Chris Moses, how was your lap?
Oh, not very happy with it, Brad. Actually, the track had the most grip I ever felt in a night qualifying here. It was pretty tight. Oop, Kevin went off again here. Oh, he just packed it in. Yeah, it's pretty tight, and I tried to overcompensate. I really messed up with Blanchimont, lost a lot of time there, so not very happy. Expect to do almost a full second quicker, so let's hope for a top 10 if I'm lucky.
Well, certainly you did have a second up on that pole time, looking around somewhere in the low 19s, which wouldn't have been the worst time in the world. Might not have been quite on the pole time, but certainly up there. Well, you know what? That happens sometimes, and everybody's going to have some problems in these Superpole events. I know that sometimes you like to go out a little early, sometimes you like to go out a little late. I know you wanted to maybe help out here in the broadcast booth a little bit. You think that helped you or hurt you any as we watch Chuck Carter out there on track?
Oh, I don't think it hurt me really. It's probably a wash. It's probably, the track felt like I had a lot of grip, so generally build up more grip as the qualifying session goes. But you build more grip on the groove, so you got to be precise. But get off the groove, when there's a lot of grip, there's more marbles. So it's like a catch-22 sometimes. If you're doing really well, you probably want to go as late as possible and hope it doesn't rain. And I kind of, I've had a bad run is all I can say. They left a lot on the table.
Yeah, well, like I say, that certainly happens. It's going to happen to a lot of guys here tonight. There's always a couple surprises in these Superpole formats that can jump up. We didn't talk about that weather playing a role. It doesn't look like that's going to happen here tonight, but it's always certainly a possibility. Some rain comes in halfway through this qualifying session. Well, those guys are going to be pretty hosed. So, Chuck Carter begins his hot lap here, and we saw Gup Douglas, Chris's teammate, staging there in the pit lane to begin his out lap. Chuck Carter, it has to be said, a little down this season in what has to be looked at as a pretty good car, this Mercedes. Pretty strong performer, but Chuck Carter not quite getting the results I'm sure he would like this season. It should be noted again for anybody attempting to watch our broadcast and may have joined late. We're going to have to cut a little short. We're having trouble with our pictures here tonight. So we'll get you these Superpole qualifying laps in and try to get you up to date on all of your favorite drivers. So we'll do the best we can. In the meantime, Chris Moses and Rich Roman have joined us here in the broadcast booth. Oh, as Chuck Carter has a little bit of a problem himself.
That's a killer right there, Brad. That's going to cost him.
Yeah.
There's especially night qualifying here, there's a few pucker moments. There's a few corners where, me personally, I can probably speak for most of the guys, they're tough ones to judge at night. The first one's, Eau Rouge, how much to push it through Eau Rouge. I know we don't struggle too much with that. But, there's a few other corners, especially Blanchimont, to get the timing right, and braking for the bus stop. It's always a little bit tricky at night where they pick up their brake marks. I think those are the three key spots you got to look out for.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, all those corners are really important corners in terms of overall lap time. So not only are they some of the most difficult to judge, but also are some of the most important as well. So yeah, it can be tricky, and it has to be said, I've had the opportunity to qualify a few times here at night myself, and I've struggled with some of those spots also.
Breaking the bus stop there where Chuck just went through can be critical. If you overshoot it and you get off that groove and you spend so much time trying to get back for the second part of the bus stop, you lose a lot of time. You're not even realizing it.
Yeah, certainly, in my opinion, one of the most important corners in terms of overall time on the track. Very important corner to, it's one of those great corners that requires a lot of aggressiveness and patience and consistency, kind of all at the same time. And it's one that's very difficult to get right, but when you do, certainly improves those lap times. Now, here's your teammate there, Mr. Moses, Gup Douglas, out there to start his timed lap. You guys have been working pretty well this season. You find yourself in that team championship hunt. How's it been? How's it been going? How's the communication in that team this season?
We're kind of like an old married couple, Brad. We've been teamed up for so long. We know what each other's thinking before we even say it. So very little hassle is probably the correct term. But we work good together, and Gup does good at this track, and I think we can both score well here come next Monday. But we'll probably need a little help from Team Bingo to overtake him for the title.
Yeah, definitely gonna need a little misfortune, unfortunately, I have to say. But again, that can happen at any point in time.
Yeah, so but it's only a 9-point deficit there. So Aaron, you would assume would be running pretty strong around here. Didn't see any of his practice times, however, John Houston I did see, and he was running pretty well. So possibility those guys will run pretty strong. Aaron, of course, involved in many championships, won or lost here at this track, as yourself there, Chris Moses. So both real familiar with this track, and that'll be a good time. But in the meantime, we have the opportunity to watch Gup Douglas around here coming up through Blanchimont.
Ooh, he took it good and got a little bit of wheel spin coming out.
Yeah, it has to be said that he got through there a little bit better than yourself, though.
Yes. That was a puckering moment there for Mr. Douglas.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of fun sitting here in the booth. Probably not so much behind the wheel there. As Gup storms to the line. Good 2.5 seconds. Yep, good 2.5 seconds off the pole time there, set by Chris Moses there at 19.5. Gup runs a 21.9. So solidly in this field. He won't be in line for that pole position, of course, which would lock him in for that feature race, front row start, but should put him up there pretty good for our 30-minute qualifying race to follow, which unfortunately we probably won't be able to broadcast tonight, as you can imagine. Mike Graytrex now. Now, here's a guy in this Gumpert, a teammate to Curtis Chandler, who has been showing some signs of life as of late here. Mike Graytrex, really his first full season. Started off pretty darn slow, did Mike, but is showing some potential here the last couple of races, even challenging for a top 10 here last week. So Mike's starting to look like he's coming around and getting his feet wet in this NAGP action. What have you guys seen out of track on him?
Definitely, he's improving every time out, and he's showing good pace. He needs to work on the big thing most of the guys need to work on is consistency. And you can see a little bit up there in his qualifying lap. He's getting a little bit too much curb and on and off throttle a little too much, but Yeah, he's shown flashes of good speed, so expect more improvement from him.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Rich, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when he was coming through Lacombe's, he definitely almost looked like he overshot it a little bit. Almost ended up cutting the track. I mean, obviously he wasn't trying to do that, and just getting all four wheels off on the curbing, and that looked like it probably slowed him down quite a bit.
Yeah, certainly, and I think this is a guy really that's benefited quite a bit having Curtis Chandler for a teammate, as we see him quite a bit off the pace there through Sector 2. I think he's benefited quite a bit from having Curtis Chandler as a teammate, a real NAGP veteran. Actually understands setups pretty well, and Curtis has been really having a very fine season himself, as mentioned. Really one of his better to date, it has to be said. Curtis finds himself currently 8th in the overall Drivers' Championship. Maybe not great, you say, but he did have 3 DNFs, not all necessarily his fault there. Considering still running 8th with those 3 DNFs, really a pretty solid season for Curtis. But at the moment we're watching Mike Graytrex, and you can see that he's a little off the pace here, currently sitting in P9. So we'll get the opportunity now to watch Jack Ivy get around this long and legendary circuit. Little jumpy there through a rouge. Don't know if you can see that on our pictures or not, but little struggle, pretty close. Jack, of course, immense help on the site, coordinating some of our artwork for y'all, and we really appreciate that. Thank you, Jack.
Also, our other broadcaster who unfortunately hasn't been able to do it recently, correct?
Yeah, Jack Ivy helping out a bit on the Thursday night broadcast, absolutely. But as you say, not able to recently. Curtis Chandler has been handling some of those responsibilities. Unfortunately, he's had a few technical difficulties of his own. We'll make sure we get all that sorted for you guys and get you some strong pictures here in the coming weeks. Jack Ivy a couple of seconds off that pole time, but really from a couple of guys we've seen, not too badly off compared to some of those. So I should thank Chris, Rich, that this Jack has another problem there. I should think that this Ferrari would be a pretty good performer around this track. Maybe doesn't have some of the best overall speed, but should be pretty good through that Sector 2, eh?
Definitely, Brad. It's a good, smooth, nice downforce car with a real nice balance. The only thing the 430 really lacks is brute power. It's a strong car at this track as well. So, but you got to be able to have it balanced well to go through the corners. So where you got to make up the grounds and sweeping turns on the powerful cars.
Yeah, Rich, I know that you're in a sister Ferrari. What do you, how's that thing getting around the track for you tonight?
It's going to be pretty much a crapshoot. I just ran a few laps in, with a race setup, and now I just, changing tires, took out the fuel, and closed down the radiator just a little bit, and hopefully not too much. And I have no idea what I'll turn out there, so like I said, it'll be a crapshoot.
Well, I know your lap is coming up here in just a few laps. If you need to be moved, let us know, or if you can move yourself, either way. And best of luck when you do get out there.
No, I'm fine here. You can keep me here, not a problem.
I'll get the popcorn out.
Yeah. So, again, anybody joining us late, we are having some problems with our pictures here tonight. We're going to do the best job we can. As long as the audio is strong for you and you can see those sector times pop up and give you some idea of what's going on out there. And, we apologize for that, but we'll do the best we can for you. Here, Drew Lidke coming up to his first split time. Drew Lidke, a part of that Cider racing team, has looked very strong in the past. Maybe not as strong a season as they would have hoped for this one, running that McLaren this season. But still posting some nice results here and there. Simon Goodwin coming at Osterschleben from the back all the way up to, what, 8th, 10th? In any event, very nice run as we see Drew about a second off the pole time at the moment.
Yeah, I noticed I'm not seeing Simon on the sheet here. I guess he's either at least missing Superpole, obviously, or out of town or something.
Yeah, that's too bad. This is also a team that's becoming kind of a veteran NAGP duo around here. These guys have hooked up here the last 4 or 5 seasons. Most notably there, a couple seasons ago when running the Lamborghini, had their strongest showing yet to date. And they work well together, these guys. Again, it all comes down to consistency for anybody that wants to score points in this very difficult league. And sometimes lacking just a little bit. If ever they do get that figured out, these guys are going to have an opportunity to possibly find themselves in a team championship mix.
Just something to note here, I just happened to notice, I believe the track temperatures come down 2 degrees Fahrenheit, and the ambience also coming down, just a hair, just a little bit, but you still got quite a few people to go, and that can make a difference for their qualifying.
Yeah, you may or may not be able to see that on your pictures there, but indeed the ambient temperature at 71 degrees is relatively low. The track temperature is still there at 90, so the tires should be coming up to speed pretty well. In the event, we saw Drew Lidke come across there at a 2:21.1. Not a bad lap for Drew. That'll put him, I would think, somewhere mid-pack for the beginning of our 30-minute qualifying race. So, John Wathan now on track. Oh, and has a big slide here. Coming off the Kemmel Straight.
Oh, John.
Stay on it, John. All right, looks like he's going to complete his lap here anyway, so kudos to you, John.
Looked like a little too much Tokyo drift to me.
Yeah, again, those break points, we've mentioned it, can be very difficult to pick up here in the dark. And I certainly think that was the case there. But there certainly is some added pressure for these guys, knowing that they probably have some viewership on the broadcast, as well as absolutely everybody there in pit lane. So you have quite a few sets of eyeballs watching you go around this track, and that could flat rattle a few guys.
That car is looking extremely loose.
It almost, Rich, it looks like he's got a lot of understeer, and he's turning the snap oversteer on him, where he's just basically spinning up the rear tire trying to make a turn.
Yeah, I don't disagree there. I think that
yeah, I can see it there now.
Tough run for John here.
It is, and it has to be said that that Mercedes is a pretty darn strong performer, but it can have run with a little bit of natural understeer in it, so getting that balance can be a little tricky.
Ooh! Yeah, it has 52% of its total weight distribution is to the front of the car, so it's got the more front weight balance than any cars in the league.
Well, as we see John Wathan gamely go ahead and finish off that lap at 2:31.1. He knows that that's not the strongest effort he could have put in, but again, kudos for John for finishing off that lap. As we see Salem Montgomery Jr. now out there on track.
Now, Brad, here's a guy who's really been improving. Every race out, he's showing a lot more in both Monday and Thursday leagues, so I won't be surprised if he puts in a nice lap here.
Yeah, and I completely agree with the assessment. a lot of it just simply comes down to well, motivation, maybe for lack of a better word. And Salem Montgomery's got it. He wants to improve, and he wants to improve his standing, his overall point standing. You know, guy hasn't been around all that long really, and already has shown some signs of life here and of making some noise in this championship. So I think you're absolutely right. Look for good things in the future from Salem.
Just a heads up, Rich, you'll go out next. Skip and Solberger has no qualification.
Oh, okay. I should probably pull out on track now then.
Yep.
Alright, be back in 3 minutes.
Yeah, so again, I would like to apologize for the pictures that you're getting out there on track tonight. It's the best we could do, unfortunately. Just having some type of gremlin in there, couldn't quite figure out in time, so we'll stick with it and do the best job we can for you. In the meantime, Salem is a bit off this lap, unfortunately. I think he struggled a bit there in Sector 2.
Hey guys, I just wanted to step in and say John Solberger has a no quality, so Rich should be on the track.
Yeah, roger that. Thank you, Gut.
Roger, Gut. Thank you.
Yeah, as Salem comes
Let's see where
around.
Salem slots in.
Yep, a bit off the pace here, but again, to follow this Superpole qualifying session is a 30-minute qualifying race to set all but the first two starters here. Our top 2 times, of course, will lock those spots in for our feature race next week, and hopefully we'll be back on our regular broadcast here with Al Miramon providing the pictures, and hopefully they'll be a bit more steady for you.
Well, we got a little off sequence here. Rich got a little late start on there, so he's on his out lap, getting the tires up to temp. Seems like he's riding the pony pretty hard here on the out lap, getting some heat in the tires.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that is the Pirelli shod Ferrari, so you'll want to be a little bit more aggressive trying to get those tires a bit more up to temperature, though. On this longer track, not quite as important perhaps. Good chance to get some extra heat into those Pirellis, which do like to run a little bit hotter.
We just lost whoever qualified 11th, unfortunately. They'll have to rejoin in qualifying 2 session.
Yeah, that's too bad, but still an opportunity to get jump into this 30-minute qualifying period to follow. Rich, nice up
Rich
Rouge.
did not lift at all.
Yeah, indeed. I was going to mention the same thing. Looked very good coming up a Rouge. Of course, Rich, a veteran here on this Spa circuit. His first win, NAGP win, did come at this circuit, if I'm not mistaken there, Chris. Oh!
Oh yes, but he runs wide. Rich is going to go out swinging here. He's going to let it hang out and see, and it bit him, but he can still get a good time in.
Yeah, again, well, of course, Rich was up here in the booth with us. I believe that he can still hear our commentary as he's driving around there, so a lot of distractions. Only 1/2 second off the pole time there, Chris. Not too shabby with all that going on.
Oop. Yeah, he ran a little wide there. That's a key corner. That'll cost him a little.
Well, really, you know, especially with a mistake like that, boy, if Rich can slot somewhere into the 20s, even low 21s, won't be too bad a spot for him to be start in that position at?
I wouldn't quite count him out for pole yet. You never know. Oh, that's going to hurt.
Yeah, so 1 second off through the second split there. Still a possibility at some 20s here, though I think high 20s are more a possibility than low ones, that's for sure. Coming up to the last corner here, a little bit of rear lockup. Indeed. So, so a mid 220, a 220.5. That's a pretty good effort considering some of the adventures out there for Rich. As soon as he gets calmed down a little bit, he can fill us in on exactly what happened there.
Yikes.
Well,
Rich, you were definitely the fastest through Eau Rouge.
Yeah, the problem I had with this car, well, not the same exact car, but obviously the 458 was, you got to find a good balance with it under braking, and it just got away from me. I think I got through what was that? The first part of the Combs. Surprisingly, I was able to stick, and then once I think it stuck, but I was a little too hot, and then bounced off the wall there. And then after that, the big problem is with it being dark out. If you pick up your braking marks a little bit late, you're gonna just put that car into a little bit more of a rear skid, especially if it's already skittish under braking as it is. So that's pretty much what happened to me. Is I just started picking up some of my braking points really late, and just induced a lot more oversteer going into the corners.
Yeah, well, certainly a tough car to get balanced, but we've all had the opportunity to drive that F458. Nice car, a good performer, but one that can get a little tail happy. Oh, Johnny Lugnuts has a bit of a problem there. He's only 1/2 second off the pole time there through Sector 1. Johnny Lugnuts does hold a Superpole win, actually, over in their GT1 at the soggy Interlagos race. Johnny put in a very nice effort there. However, not so much here, as he's a couple seconds off the pole time at the moment. Sure like those Lamborghinis. That's the car I think I might like to be in around this track, Al. Or Chris.
Yeah, it's definitely it's got its upside for raw speed, but it's got a lot of downside for race maintenance, so to speak, as far as fuel economy and tire wear and brake temperatures and such. But Johnny had a great lap going in campus. He just got a little too wide and got on the curb too much, and he had another problem coming out of Stabilo, so he'll be disappointed with 7.
I would think so, as we watch John Houston begin. Oh, his hot lap up Rouge. He holds on to it. Don't know if you're able to see that on those pictures, but John Houston, all but dead there in a Rouge, managed to hold on to it.
Brad, he wrecked, but he just didn't hit anything.
That was close. A really great save. I was just about to talk about John Houston being a prominent figure here in this team championship as the other member of TBROK Dam Bam, along with Aaron Parsons, who we'll see shortly. So this lap here could be important for that team. So as we might expect, a little off the pace there. Go ahead, Chris.
I would say for the Vipers especially, it's Sector 1's going to be the strongest, that and the Panos, and my car as well. That's going to be the strongest sector for the car, because that's the power sector. And then Sector 2 is more of a downforce sector, so you'll probably see him fall off some more here for Sector 2. But this is the sector where the mid-engine car is going to make their hay and pull the ground and make sure they get tidy through the bus stop to start the third sector.
Yeah, indeed. So a good performer, like you say, in the first sector for sure down that long Kemmel straight. And that bus stop chicane in the third sector, as well as out of La Source. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, quick update here as we watch John Houston through that bus stop chicane. We are having some problems with the video here tonight, so we apologize for that. We're going to do the best job we can for you, and make sure those pictures are nice and strong for you next week. That's the best we're going to be able to do tonight, folks, and we apologize.
It looks like John Sportelli's hanging around and might want to join the channel. If you want to bring him.
Okay. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay, so John Houston slotting 8th, 2:21.6. I got to tell you, looking at those practice times, I don't know that's the kind of lap John Houston might have expected, but nonetheless, he'll have to start from where he's at now. See if we can maybe get some other thoughts here momentarily from a former GT1 champion. We'll drag him on up here and see what's going on with John Sportelli.
Going back to my lap, I don't know if you guys noticed that I barely got the car to stop for the entrance to the bus stop.
Yeah, looked like a lot of rear wheel lock up there. John Sportelli, hello and welcome to the NAGP broadcast. Mike Monahan actually up on the pole time there in Sector 1. Looking strong here to start this hot lap. Mike Monahan should be said quickly. Yeah, should be said quickly. Very nice season there, teammate Esteban Palacio. Not having a few bad races there, but otherwise looking pretty sharp.
Hi, boys.
Hi there, John. We might have you around a few minutes here. You've been involved in some of these Superpole laps. What do you think about the Superpole concept?
I think it's a great concept. It's the time you get to shine. It's you know, you're out there by yourself. You got one chance, and you know, that's what separates the men from the boys, really.
Yeah, as mentioned, you know, some people a little bit more tuned to it than others. It's something I like. I know my broadcast partner, I think he'd be the first to admit, doesn't always have the best time in the Superpole lap configuration as Mike Monahan storms through the line here. 7/10 off that pole, so despite that first good sector, will slot P3 here behind David Canavan. He will not lock in a front row for next week's feature event. However, he's got a 30-minute qualifying race to do some damage there.
Yeah, I'll be joining that race tonight.
Oh, great! Well, that sounds good, John. Best of luck out there for sure. As
hey. I've been contracted for a one-race effort with 05 Motorsport to drive the Audi R8. So hopefully, I don't know how if Moses will be able to throw the 30 kilos on it.
Well, I'm sure that
we'll try to get you in right away.
Is that going to be a problem for me to join with all the people in and you getting a weight on me? How do we do that? Because I'll be coming in with everyone already in.
We'll try to get you in first. I'll give you the heads up. Get ready to go when I tell you.
Okay, sounds good. When do we do that? How long would you say?
I'll give you the heads up. Yeah, there's quite a few guys are going to go yet.
Okay, not a problem.
Yeah, as David Rowley has a few tense moments over some curbing there. Good 7/10 off that pole time. David Rowley certainly has the capability of turning these strong laps. We've seen it many times in qualifying sessions here at NAGP. David Rowley has the always a threat to get on a good lap. Probably doesn't have all of the race results you'd like to have, but certainly can lay down the law in qualifying, no question. Really using those curves there, Rich.
Yeah, and that could be a little bit of the the darkness factor out there. It seemed pretty dark to me, I know that, and while I was out there, and I just have 2 words for John Sportelli: constant care.
Constant care. Roger that.
Oh, a little loose coming out of there.
As usual, my former teammate is more than willing to turn the knife thrust between the ribs.
Yeah, David Rowley exits La Source. Car quite a good stamp on the throttle there out of that corner, but don't know if it's going to be enough. And David Rowley finds himself a couple seconds off that pole setting time by Chris Moses there, currently slotting P9th.
Brad, I think this guy coming up right here, Christian Hamilton, is a strong contender for the pole. Let's see how he gets there, Eau Rouge.
You do. So have you seen some good practice times out of him here in our practice session or this week?
Yes, I did.
Well, real quickly, as we watch Christian Hamilton here down the Kemmel Straight, we just want to, again, in case anybody's showing up late, let you know that we know our broadcast feed is not working so well tonight. It's the best we're going to be able to do for you. We'll make sure we get it cleaned up for you next week. Sorry about that. Yeah, so Christian... Yeah, go ahead, Rich.
I was going to say, Christian's definitely running a one-brake duct opening there. You can see those brakes haven't stopped glowing since he started his lap.
Well,
Rich, I did the same, and I think it was a mistake on my part.
Well, so far, living up to your prediction there, Chris, just right on that pole time there through Sector 1, this car can get through this second sector very well. So now let's see if Christian Hamilton is as up to task as the car can be.
Yeah, and this is where it's going to start to hurt him now, because you start getting heavier and heavier braking zones here with that. And I normally like to run a low brake duct opening, but even on this car, it can get a little squeamish as he rides the curb there a little bit. Not too bad. But no, he's looking good still.
Yeah, indeed. It has looked quite tidy so far. And that second split finds him, well, 1/2 second off. So giving up a little bit there to you, Chris. You expect that time to hold up tonight?
No, but I think it'll hold up on this one because I actually got through the bus stop in La Source pretty well. Although the lead up to the bus stop, so it's hard to say. Maybe not. Maybe you might top it right here.
I think we're going to be safe for now. Christian Hamilton finds himself slotted into P1. So we have a 19-4, so we have to lap here for tonight. I don't think that's going to be enough to hold up as some of our heavy hitters are coming up, but the Christian Hamilton guy certainly could make more noise, one of those guys. And now finds himself down we get quite an accomplishment. So Christian. Okay, well.